Hello everyone. So we are very happy here to be at the Talent Village, where we are welcoming 8 directors from around Europe, from Switzerland, Spain, France, Belgium, Germany, Austria and Spain, and we're working with 4 composers that we selected after national audition. And that came from France and Spain. The idea is that they work on the basis of the scenario, and so we talk about music and start putting it in the process of creation of the movies. So here we are with Nicolas Worms, who composed music on Pascal Reimann movie Carnivalesque and Sabine Earl movie Paradise Bleeding, which are in the process of the making. So we would like to, if you can introduce Sabine first. No, sorry, we'll start. Yeah, Sabine first, your movie, a little pitch, and then how you worked with Nicolas, and we'll listen to the music and talk about the process.
Thank you very much. So Paradise Bleeding is, I would say, like a dark Christmas tale set up in Bavaria in Germany, in a small village in the run-up for Christmas, and we are going to see during the movie different families, how they deal with what is expected from them. So this paradise, beautiful family time, and then also what's lying under. Yeah, I think that's for the start. And how we worked, we met
online.
We met 2 months ago online on Zoom, and we just I don't know, we just talked very basic stuff. So what I had in mind are my references I got, because the film is set in the 90s. I had some hip-hop references. There's this special music from Bavaria, which some people like a lot, which for others is horror. And also Christmas music. And then we talked a lot about the main theme of the film for me is trauma, or the difference between the outside and what's lying under. So for that, music has a tremendous have to have a tremendous amount on the project in the end.
Okay. Did you think about music as well before being put in contact with Nicolas? Did that help?
Yeah, always. Also, I really like to write to music. For me, it's the emotional access to the story. So it's very, very important.
Okay.
Yes, it was really great working with Sabine's ideas, because she had already several music influences and in mind, and also a quite clear idea of the role that music had to play in this story. Okay. Especially the lying underwater trauma that she just talked about. It was something really inspiring for me.
Okay, so we're going to listen to some music that you prepared. Is it the first draft that you sent, or how did you correspond?
Not at all, but actually part of it is from the first draft. But instead of sending a lot of different ideas, I took a bit more time to focus on composing a real little orchestral piece that would, in a short time, have how do you say, like different variations around one motif. Because it's also my way of composing music anyway, is to have short motifs that build the music itself. And it was interesting for me that there is and it suits, I think, the lying underwater feeling that she speaks about. That something is always going on, like in a deeper level, inside the music that is that you at first maybe you don't notice it really well, and then it's getting creepier and creepier, or maybe it can have different variations. And yeah, and also I was in what we're going to hear. There is a glimpse of Catholic music, like a bit chorale, German chorale, which represents, can be used for, there is some church scenes in the movie, so a bit of organ, and also a choir, which is a bit for the same reason, and just a very short glimpse of a Bavarian, how do you say, like brass music. And mixed with this dramatic leitmotif going on.
Okay, let's listen.
Yeah. So it's 3 minutes long. Yeah, that's it. So
this is what you sent at the beginning.
So this is no, the first half, let's say, is from what I sent at the beginning, and there was a first part that was not really what less on point than the rest, so we cleared it. And the end actually is a test, but it's not really the direction we're going, because the end is supposed to express the bleeding parts. So the title of the movie is Paradise Bleeding. So the beginning is a bit like Paradise, but like soon to be defeated, soon to fall paradise, and the end is like more for the horror movie part, the horror parts of the movie. But I think Sabine find it a bit too classical, like orchestral horror music. So the idea is to have more, would be for the movie to have a more electronic kind of, to have the same stress, but more in a electronic soundscape.
Yeah, so I think stressful is the right word.
Yes.
So it should not be comfortable to listen to it. So just very get to your own trauma.
Yeah.
Okay. But you want interested in electronic sounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
So or. Yeah.
Which is something that we can hear a lot also in your short movie. Mm-hmm. The like, how did you work on music? There is lots of music in your short movie. How did you work on that, and how did you manage to talk to the composer?
It was actually it just worked. If I could say.
It worked very well. That's why I'm asking. Like,
so we did not talk a lot. So it could have been an accident that it worked, because we have not tried it a second time.
Okay.
So.
Or maybe you expressed very well at the beginning what you needed.
Yes, actually, now if I think about it, it's the same. So like stressful, deep music. Also a choir out of single voices that should build a whole in the end, which is also kind of the aim for this thing now, that all inhabitants of the village are part of one big creature, and if you put the single voices together, it should be terror. Mm-hmm. So it's very dark, very dark start for the morning, but yeah.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you.
So now we'll pass to Pascal Reinmann's movie Carnivalesque, that you can tell us a little bit about.
Yes, hello. So Carnivalesque is a story which takes place in the very orderly and well-organized Swiss Midlands. And the story follows a car mechanic and trombone player who has really well adapted to these social norms and has to deal with a absurd accusation from his apprentice, and therefore has to deal with the exclusion of the carnival brass band where he belongs to. So it's a story about belonging and social norms, and how much is one individual willing to give away in order to adapt to something bigger or to the society.
Okay, so I guess music is pretty important if there is a carnival, and brass and instruments in the images.
Yes, it's huge in the film. It's normally these bands, we call them Guckenmusik in German. They contain of maybe 30 to 40 people, so it's really a massive wall of music that's thrown on you.
Yeah.
But we, with Niklas, we didn't really go into that part of the music because it's there already, and I know how it sounds.
And so how do you want it? Like, how did you imagine it sounding, and how did you imagine it bringing an atmosphere, which I guess is pretty important because pretty present, and it's the sound of the movie that you're building, and then that leads and brings us to what you needed from Nicolas to work with the brass sound.
Mm-hmm. I think there are several scenes in the film which the brass band is really loud and big, but just for short times, and then I really want to contrast that with a more subtle memory-like soundscape but it should be all coming from the same instrument. So we talked about using one single instrument, maybe from the band, and then just take that one sound and use it as a soundscape for the rest of the film.
Okay.
So maybe you can explain a bit better than.
Yes, microphone.
Yes. Yeah, it was interesting to try to contrast from the brass band, as Pascal said, at the same time using the same instruments. So it was interesting because it's not something really often used in music in general and film music in particular. The brass instruments used softly in a soft and almost ambient way. So, and from the script and the feelings of the characters, and that I read in Pascal's script, the first thing I sent, one of the first thing I sent was a bit like electronic ambient music, like really large, slow waves of synths. But Pascal didn't want. I think the electronic style was going a bit too far from the story, like bringing some other aesthetic mood. So I tried to keep the same kind of the same mood, but to adapt it with organic instruments and especially brass instruments. Okay. So the first thing we ended up with two themes, and so the first one is using a solo trumpet, which is of course one of the instruments that is present in the brass bands you're showing in the movie.
Which is a bit related to the Swiss alpine horn, as we will hear.
Yes, also it has
I think it's interesting.
Alpine feeling.
Okay, so it's very rural and down to earth, which I like a lot.
And then we hear other like trumpets, like a group of trumpets, opposed to this single trumpet, which is also a bit. I didn't even think about it before, but it's a bit the subject of the film. And like a group of trumpets buzzing in the background, and like if it was memories of the carnival. From yesterdays, because there is a lot of scenes in your movie which are like not really the carnival, but also what comes after, like in the night or the morning after when you wake up.
The daily life again.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Let's listen.
Yeah.
I think you told me before. It's interesting as well to note that the players, that the people that play the music in the movie are amateurs, and that you want this sound to be present as well in the soundtrack, and that was a kind of a trouble for you.
Yeah, challenge. Yeah.
Challenge, because you don't have. You have to do this on the computer, of course, to prepare, and the computers play.
Yeah, it's not. There is no amateur computer, or like the fake sounds are not made to be sound like amateur. So
yeah, so needed some imagination afterwards also to.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
You wanted to say something?
I'm really looking forward to actually record it with real instruments and have that imperfection.
Yes,
which I think is very important.
Okay. And there's another.
Yeah, there is another excerpt. If we have time, is something that. So this would be an idea like more for the score, so the extra diegetic music. But I tried also something for which is a tango theme, because there is a scene in this scenario where at the end of the night there is a tango trio playing in a bar, and so we will also hear the music that is played in this scene. So I did a tango theme, and then I tried different versions of it, including one for trombone solo, which is the instrument that the main character of the movie plays. So it's also trying to see if the song that we hear from the tango trio at the end of the movie can be heard before in the movie, but in another setting, and like to have always this motive construction that I really like a lot about when I write music.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So we are welcoming now Chloé Léonil and her movie Sunshine, Aurélie Reinhorn and her movie Deaf Mutes Somewhere in the Middle, and Marie Laroche, composer, that worked on both movies. So we'll start with Chloé. If you could pitch your movie.
Yes.
Briefly.
So my movie Sunshine is the story of Lucy, a 15 years old single mother. She's really in debt, but can't speak about it with anybody and starts stealing at her job. The idea of the movie is really to follow her really closely and only her, to see the world and feel things like she does. So for the music, at first I was thinking only using intra-diegetic music, a music that she will listen to or be part of the environment where she is. But Marie offers something else, which is really interesting. So.
Thanks.
So how did you communicate with Marie? Because if you asked her only intra-diegetic music, so
Yeah, actually, when we start to exchange, she talks about all intra-diegetic music, and after that she sent the script to me, and when I read the script, characters really spoke to me in terms of music, so I tried to tell in terms of music what I feel when I think about this character, and we talk about this character together. And it was really fluid. It was an idea which she likes. So.
Okay.
So the character is a character who is not really a character in the first meaning of the word, but it's a character who is always there in the movie, like an underwater monster who sometimes is visible from the surface and sometimes not, and it is the characters of the money issues that Lucille have, and we try to. It was not a question about a musical theme in the first meaning of the sense. It's music on the edge of sound design, actually, a sound like with only electronic sounds, and it is to make us feel what your body say when you have your credit card refused, or when you realize that your bank account is totally empty. And the music is what it's about that, about this feeling inside your body you can feel at this moment. So there are several options to tell that in music, 4 actually, and we make a mix of all this option was possible.
So you communicated and talk about the different options, and then you choose one, or you propose something.
Yeah, Marie sent me some option of this feeling of Lucy, and I think one was really inspiring for me. I really felt being in her, and it was great to have this sensation. But the idea is the music can, it's not really the music, but this sound can come when she's really stressed and really subtle, and come back and maybe be stronger in moments, and can tell about what she feels, but can't express.
Yes,
yeah.
It was to make this character concrete by the music, but it's not a question about put this song for all the movies. It really for a well-chosen moment.
Okay. And when you're saying that you sent options, did you send like music pieces with different instruments, and then you chose, right, I prefer more electronic sounds, or how did it work?
Yes, actually, it was only electronics sounds, but different electronic sound. To be precise, a little bit. It was 4 options. The first one was to create a monster by a movement, by the rhythm. It sometimes accelerate, sometimes slow down. The second option was to create a ghostly melody with taking a song and making a ghostly melody with frequencies, with low to high frequencies. So it's something like that. And the other one was about density changes, and it was the one that Chloe liked the most.
Okay. And the last one?
And the last one, I don't remember. It was about the instrumental changes, because it's only electronical instruments, but you can still change the color of the.
All right.
The
Let's listen then.
Yes. So I hope there is good bass, because all is in the low frequencies. Oh, sorry, I forgot to tell you. In the extract you're going to hear, there is a tutti. All these different options combined, and there is at first two single instruments to hear what it can it can be like.
Thank you very much. You wanna add something? No. Right. So thank you, and we'll pass on to your project. So if you can pitch it briefly and explain how you worked with Marie.
Yes. So my feature project is about power of incarnation, based on role play, based on constellation family therapy. It's tell the story of a woman who offer a deal to a group of people who are a work reintegration program, and they are working on renovation on the castle, the familial castles of the main character. So they stumble upon that group of person, and so the deal is they can continue to work on the renovation only if they accept to embody all the family characters of the main character. So it's a woman, and so for me it's a way to talk about 3 generations of a single family, but really interpreted by a group of people who are just age of 30 years old or something.
Okay.
And so for the work with Marie, my question was how a song could picture all an atmosphere of a period of time, like I don't know, Second War, World War, and so I was interested by created a song, folkloric song maybe, but I wasn't sure of, or just a song who, if someone is singing it, you immediately think about a period of history.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you only wanted to remind about the timing of World War II, then?
I wasn't sure about it, and I'm not sure as well now.
Okay.
But I thought it would be interesting that if a man, 34 years old, is playing the role of the grandmother of 94, I don't know, and he sing a song, maybe a Polish song, maybe, and he doesn't understand the lyrics actually, but someone does, because someone, it's a random thing, but speaks Polish, and then understand that all the lyrics is talking, I don't know, whether rape or destruction or war or to kill someone, and is a little bit offended by it. So, but for me, it's a way to put distanciation and comedy inside.
Okay. And so the music tells a story also by itself.
Yeah. So yeah, and maybe Marie could tell more, but I think the melody that we chose is really based off a military Polish song, March.
Okay.
And I wrote some lyrics in Polish. I tried to, and Marie took in charge all the rest.
Yeah, it was really a phase of improvisation, because we talk a lot about folklore together, and in first place it was about we don't know which folklore choose, so we try different traditional music, Romanian, Hungarian, and French also. We tried a lot of different things, and we focused ourselves after that to do the Polish song, and the phase of improvisation musically was really an important phase to try to capturing the different color that you have in a Polish martial song. I'm not used to do this type of music, so it was really interesting to know how it works and to try to make actually an imaginary folkloric song, because it's look like folklore, but it's not. It's not.
It's not. Yes. Okay.
And maybe just a last
Yes.
thing is important is for me, du coup, it's a diegetic music.
Okay.
And I think that music that you are going to listen would take place at the end of a dinner, I think, where everybody is has drink much alcohol, and so someone decides to sing that song that he knows. And maybe someone is because he has a good music here, he try to go with a second voice.
Okay.
Maybe someone would go to the piano to go with, and at the end, I think there is something who say to the person who sung, "Do you understand the lyrics?" And I think the person say, "No, I don't care. It's just a song that my grandmother sang." And then he say, "Okay, because it's about really destruction, death, and so it goes with a really weird atmosphere at the end."
Yeah, you're right to talk about that. I totally forgot to talk about the fact that this film is really particular in a music way because all the music is going to be done by the characters themselves at the shooting moment. So we really had to do a music with all the stuff you can find at the place of the shooting. So we have to imagine what they can do music with. So maybe they tune piano because every house has one, and voices, and so it's what.
Interesting. Okay, let's listen.
Want to listen it? Okay. Sorry for my Polish. I have to take class.
So you sang on the song?
Yes, I sang in
Polish.
But no one is Polish here. I
Przychodzi przez pole, nie patrząc na mnie, kasura rybojno na dobry. Co będziesz mi robić, co będziesz mi robić, nawet do mnie nie mrugnął. Co będziesz mi robić, co będziesz mi robić, nawet do mnie nie mrugnął. Kad jaskółki znowu śpiewają, będę wreszcie zbrejać na giecki. Rozpala mi ogień, by odziaczy dom, uśmiertnięć kobietę cię staloni. Ale fukni, male koty się nudzą. Ale fukni, male koty się nudzą. Kiedy trampta sami 3 razy, będę tam dla ciebie wybrać. Przechodzi przez pole, nie patrząc na mnie, kasura rybojno na dobry. Co będziesz mi robić, co będziesz mi robić, nawet do mnie nie mrugnął. Co będziesz mi robić, co będziesz mi robić, nawet do mnie nie mrugnął.
Okay. I really felt like it was
Yeah,
in the 40s.
great.
Thank you. in Poland. Okay, great. You want to add something?
No, I think.
Okay.
It's
And
okay.
there are other music than like songs to be composed at different moments of the movie.
Well, actually, I'm not certain about this.
Okay.
Because I think it's a bit too early for me to know. But it was a good experience to make with Mary.
Yeah, it was very fun.
To look for around that kind of idea and to try something who would like qui ressemblerait.
Yes, that would look
Look like Red Army Corps or something.
Okay. Yeah, and I guess you put images as well
Yes.
in your
Yes.
head. Okay, beautiful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So much to So now we are with Dorian Jespers from Belgium presenting his movie Loines, and Özgur Anil from Austria presenting his movie Resurrection. And together both of them worked with Antoine Duchesne from France, but in a peculiar way, let's say. So Dorian, if you want to present your movie briefly and...
Yes, hello. My project is called Loin, and it's inspired by the story of a pope in the 9th century who was dug out of his grave. So after his death, and put on a trial court to be judged for past actions. And so it was just body dressed with the Pope clothes and accused and judged by a crowd, and put back in the river after the trial. And in Loin, it's not really the Pope, but it's a strange, a special character. Yeah, that is in the same time living in a strange city.
Okay. And your relationship to music is, because after seeing your short movie Sundog, we can see that music and sound and everything is very important and present. And
yes, they all connect. It's for Sundog, the film was almost inspired by music from Sergei Kuyokin, Winter. And it was in every step of the pre-production, production, post-production, and sound also. We constructed a lot. We remade everything in the film with sound that became almost of a music. So it's all connected and all going in a very particular and symbiotic way.
Okay. And how are you seeing your music now in your feature film?
A bit the same way, and what's difficult with this symbiotic, complete way of seeing it is that it's not really accessible for others. Somehow I think I feel that now it's still a process that I have to go a bit alone and with one or two people that I know are really grasping this whole universe, and therefore it's a bit hard for me to integrate new people in this energy. So I was not very generous. Dear man here.
So yes, for this one, Antoine. So. Yeah. You can tell us about
yeah, we tried things, but yeah, Dorian loves music very much. I think a lot, yeah, a lot more than other directors, and it's really part of his process, like listening music and finding music and trying to mix it with the other side of the cinema, and it's yeah, a very personal process, I guess. So yeah, it was very difficult to me to get in and to find a place that I would never have in his art. So he was very polite with me. Yeah, a little bit. It's easy. In your heart, in your art. It's not the same. No. And yeah, but it was still, I guess, interesting, and he was very polite and kind with me and saying to me, yeah, I don't want to make you work on something who couldn't work anyway, because it's a personal process. So we tried things. I read his treatment and everything, and I sent him some tracks, but of course it didn't work at all. But it was quite nice.
Okay. Very good. So we don't listen.
We can actually, but I'm not sure if it's really relevant. But yeah, I try to take things in his treatment, and with which is really nice. It's a city, breathing, living. I hate the word organic, but the city is actually breathing, and there's like mushrooms and things growing a little bit everywhere. So it was quite nice working on
a good exercise.
On that. Yeah, very good exercise, good exchange.
Great. And then we will pass to Özgür's project that was as well a challenge for you, Antoine.
A different place, but a very good one as well.
Yeah,
so Özgür, if you can pitch us your movie.
Yeah, Resurrection is about a young boy in Vienna with Turkish roots, and he is kind of fighting for his identity and individuality, and he's trying to distance himself from his family, and is put into a situation of crime and is confronted with his guilt. And it's a lot for me about the loneliness and the journey and the guilty conscience of the character who's in the center of the story.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you also have a special relationship to music in movies, because so in your short movie you didn't use any. The name of the movie is The
Verdict in the Case of
Yes,
Kate.
thank you. My notes.
I didn't use music because it's for me. I'm really into the visual storytelling, and I don't plan music while writing. I focus a lot on the image and on the editing. I put a big emphasis this rhythm or this emotions that music could provide to the film. I try to put that with a certain rhythm of editing and a certain type of camera.
Okay.
Yeah, so I never used music in a film, and I never worked with a composer. So it was interesting for me to work with Antoine, to have been dialogue, because I'm
It's
not
a new dialogue.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I'm not a big expert in music, so I was very naively talking about what I could imagine, how a sound of this project could be like, even though I was like, okay, I don't know if I'm going to use it, but it could be an inspiration for the further process.
Yes.
So it was interesting to talk with him. He has a lot more experience, obviously, and I think it was interesting. We tried different things. Yes.
So how did you communicate? What did you express? What did you ask him to do?
Yeah, we talked via Zoom, and at the beginning we talked a lot about the main character and his different identities, like his past and his future, and we thought about a trier or like voices. We wanted to work with voices, but also mix that maybe with electronic music or piano music as well. So we're like having broad strokes of what could be done here. And he worked on different versions, and we developed the sound over a process. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was really interesting because Oscar never used music in his whole director's life, so we had to build a relation from scratch, and I think that's rare. So we had I think the philosophical question about score, like how can I help you with the music? How the music can express something that your image wouldn't. So actually it was really interesting, even if he will maybe never use music in his film. So yeah, what can I bring in your treatment, in the personalities that the music can express? So yeah, the first try we made was with the religious part of Ekrem, the hero, which has a cultural background from Turkey. So we thought, yeah, there is religion, which is not really show in your treatment with the grandpa and everything. So maybe try something with choir and things like that. So we start from here. So I build something a bit classical with the little instruments, cello and things like that. And then he liked the piano, so we try to have the piano solo and why and how and maybe where to put it in the film. So everything was really interesting. And yeah, we ended up with the boss side of the hero Ekrem, like his youth and his background and all. Yeah, actually it was really nice working on that.
Okay. So what are we going to listen to?
I bring three music: the piano solo that Özgür like, the classical parts, which could be express the background, the religious background of his family and everything like that, and an electronic, not remix, but rework of everything we did before. So I don't know what would be interesting here.
Yeah, I think it's maybe good to start with the piano and then see the development to the electronic mix.
Yeah. So it's a really aerial piano, like it expressed actually the loneliness of Requiem. I think that's why you liked it. So yeah, you have maybe the. So yeah, this is it. And could you maybe express what you like about the electronic work we did on that?
I think it's interesting for me to have these different mixtures of music, because as I said, I'm not so familiar with it, but like have this kind of youthful energy to it, and on the other hand having like something that with the voices is something it's not so common for me to do this combination.
Yeah, with real instruments, acoustic instruments and electronics, it works pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're going to listen to it right now.
Yes. Thank you.
What I thought was very interesting is like I have for the project I have references in visual media and in literature, and the work with Antoine helped me like have another reference in music, like to have a more like a clearer vision in what direction this will be. And I think it's interesting to have many reference points for a project that's work in progress.
Great. Okay. Okay, so now, but we can listen to what you did for Dorian anyhow, and it would be interesting to know what actually didn't work, and yeah, what you had maybe in mind, or even not yet in mind, because you said it's too early in the process. So your reaction to the music and this.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, we talk a lot about references. Actually, you sent me a lot of music you liked, who can go with your aesthetic, I think. So yeah, there is this 80s synth vibe you liked. And yeah, I guess I take the idea of this thing growing and not going anywhere, just adding some sounds and add some waves in it. I'm not sure why I did that, but yeah, maybe you can.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful, and it goes really well. It's develops well and everything, and just I think regarding the project and what I usually try to do, it's maybe even a bit too well. going
yeah, I understand. Yeah, we talk about that.
Like my reference, I think I'll send you some choral and stuff like that, which have like a lot of I would say poison in it.
Yeah, sure.
Things not really working, and a lot of instruments that don't really sound harmonic, and more things falling around and crashing,
sure.
and more of a strange field tunnel, while yours is like light and full of great things, like you. So it's just a bit of a different story.
Of course, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're more into maybe abstract music and not dissonant. I don't know how to say this in English.
Yeah, a little bit like most influence in industrial, a bit more noisy and a bit more stupid also in a way, like in the sense of very basic and repetitive also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we are welcoming Alba Pino from Spain, presenting her movie The Empty Beach, and Aline Magret from Belgium, presenting her movie The Ideal, and Irina Prieto Botella, who is from Spain but living in France, and who did music for both of the movies. So we'll start with Alba, if you could present your movie in a few sentences, and then how you work and
Yeah. No, I have this.
Sorry.
Hello, my feature film is, as you say, The Empty Beach, and it's a story about a couple of actors that start a journey through Costa del Sol in Spain, which is the Mediterranean Sea, and it's a story about loss, about overcome death, and to the stages of grief that are negation, anger, depression, negotiation, and acceptation. So for me, it's a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
And working with Irina was excellent. And in the beginning, after we met, she read the script, and we did like 2 playlists for the music vibe and understanding each other. In the original script, there was 2. I think there's 2 original Spanish songs, and we're talking about pick one scene for the movie, and I think that's the scene that we choose. There's one of the most important scenes of the movie, because the main character Lucia realized that something goes wrong with this attitude and with this journey, and the sea is like a character, because the sea is like the performance, a metaphor of death, and I think Irina got it so very quickly and so well, and we did 2 tries, and the second try was also the best for me.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the challenge was to find the right tension, because the audience of the film at this point doesn't know that the character, the guy, is dead, is in fact dead, and the audience is gonna find out that in the scene after this one. But it was important to put some tension on the scenes where Lucia, the girl, is watching the sea or gets into the sea, because the boy has died drawn into the sea. So it's this relation with the sea which is ambivalent, because she's searching something on this trip, which is gonna make her free from this pain, but at the same time is the thing that makes her very sad, because it's there where his boyfriend died. Sorry. Yeah. So everything was about doing a very minimal music with a little bit of tension, but not so much, because we don't want to say to the audience, the spectator,
the big revelation.
Yes, exactly. And just follow Lucia. So yeah. We choose this scene, and then I made a little. I draw a little bit the tension. So they are both sitting watching the sea. So I put a little sea sound to help Alba imagine and me too the scene. So they are watching the sea, and he, the guy, is propose her to go to the water. And he goes into the water, and she's hesitating, but she has to follow him, and there were so very minimal piano notes, which means her need to follow him.
Yeah, and she's under the water, and then she realized that he's gone, and she's feeling like it's a kid playing, like I don't want to do this anymore. So the the track, accompanying the walk away of Lucia to the beach, to the caravan. So
yeah, exactly. They get into the water. She goes under the water, and then she get out. And
Okay. And when is it happening in the movie?
like in the middle.
In the middle.
In the middle, yeah.
Okay.
Like 45 minutes exactly.
And then I made a first draft, in which were more piano, more melody, and in which the part where she's under the water, it was longer, and I put some more music. Yeah, because she was looking for a kind of quiet moment, but then we realized it was too longer, so I made it more minimal for the second version.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's listen. Thank you. So it's very interesting. You really worked as well on the sound design of to help, I guess, Alba imagine how it would sound like with the images, which is a good idea, I think. Okay. Right? Thank you.
Thank you.
So we'll pass to Aline's project, which is so the ideal that maybe you can describe.
So yeah, it's kind of a fable where a man who is looking for a rare eagle in a stone desert is too obsessional, I guess, and he gets lost. And when he fell into a pit, and then when he wakes up, he's in a really strange place, strange institution, strange city, and he can't escape from this place. So he became a stranger, and he actually has to struggle to find his freedom, and mostly not to lose his own identity, his difference. So the film is really, the whole thing is to be working on the ambivalency and the ambiguity. So that's what we try to work with now. And so we took the figure of the bird and how it could be for him both hope and then despair. And so we tried to work on the first scene, I guess, or not really the first scene, but the opening in the desert, and how the desert can be as comforting for him, and then it became his own prison, even if it's quite an infinite space. And so even the film I want to work with the light, and the light being quite not like luminous, but the luminous is actually the suffering for him. So I guess we worked on that kind of thing. I don't know, Irina, if you want to add something.
Yeah, exactly. We work on the main character theme, and I try to put in music both his, as you were saying, his search for this bird, and his search for freedom and something big in the desert, and then how the desert is gonna be the place in which he's gonna die. So a musical theme. Sorry. So a musical theme who is gonna start a little bit more in a big place and with more joy or vitality, and in which something obsessional is gonna end by destroying this character. So I choose a flute, an alto flute, who has a lower register than a normal flute, and because I like this kind of aerial thing, and also I think the flute has something to do with a very visceral, and also very connected with the earth. And I work on some repetitive and obsessional motifs, and then I try to distort the music till the end, and try to create a kind of chaos, sound chaos at the end. Aline likes to do things. She's not afraid of hurting the audience with very loud and distorted sounds. And
for this film, and before I was also doing that, I want to work with sound from objects, or like sound design is quite important, and it's one of the narrative line of the film. And because we don't have it now, it was not easy, so it's still like music harmonious, but I want to make it more destroyed and to use all of the sounds we are going to use to make the whole world, because it's not a realistic world, it's a fictional one. So I'm going to try to invent also a sound world. But we couldn't do it right now because we didn't have the materials. But
yeah, so I choose mostly instrumental music, but play it a little bit more noisy.
Okay. So did you exchange a lot and send music and?
We didn't send a lot of music. We didn't make a playlist.
No.
We mostly spoke, I think.
Yeah, she actually just asked me a lot of questions, I guess, to enter my head.
Psychology.
Yes, and so she actually helps me to define the character quite well, and his desire. And yeah, it was mostly discussion about the film and the philosophical questions I had, and how to put it in music. Then I don't know how many tries we made. We exchanged quite, I guess, few versions.
Yeah, I made a first one, but it was too joyful.
Yeah.
Then I made a second one, but it was too tense.
And then we had the ambiguity. We had to have both sides.
Because everything was about having the both and the good dose.
Okay, great. So we're going to listen now. It's for the end of the movie, right? No, sorry.
It's the character theme, so it's not really, but I would say it's like the prologue.
Right. Thank you.
The other side.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Also, I wanted to say that I talked a lot with Selena before, saying that the ritornella was really important, and I think that she did a good job with the distortion of ritornella thing. I don't know how to say it.
Ritornelle?
Oui, oui.
I don't know.
The repetitive
Like a repetitive pattern.
motif, yeah, pattern.
Right.
Yeah, and we are not really happy with the end and how it's still like we are looking for a good sound for the bird, and of course we didn't find it yet. So.
Yeah, because at the end I use some eagle sound distorted, but we are afraid it's too evident.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard the bird at the end. Yeah, it's a little bit too evident. Maybe we can find some.
I
heard.
You have?
I didn't recognize it was.
Okay.
Me neither.
No, an eagle.
Great. Okay.
And actually, I don't know about you, but I don't know the sound of an eagle.
Ah, okay. Okay. Well, we have to see if it's too much evident or.
Yeah.
No, but it was interesting because we talked about how we fantasize the idea of an eagle. So I think that in a lot of mind, eagle is like in a western, like a sound of an eagle. I'm not going to do it, but it's like really, I think if I do it, you will say, oh, that's an eagle, but it's not the eagle at all. Because then we heard some sound of eagle, and it was not like we imagine the eagle actually.
And you want to create your own bird.
Yeah, because at the beginning there is the migration, so it's going to be like I guess hundreds of birds flying, and I would like to have this sensation of the feather, and that could be quite light, but also really dense and chaotic, that makes uncomfortable. So I'm going to try to work with that for the whole film, and then we can put it in the music, I guess.
Okay, right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Great.